Yeah, good people. Dead period is over. All high school coaches are off vacation, and they welcome kids back in an alarming way. So you athletes, hey, I don't know what y'all did over dead period, but best believe your coach gonna be blowing that whistle, and they gonna be time. Y'all see who I got with me? I got my guy, my brother, Mundys Mill. Everybody, Mundys Mill, head coach Earthwind Moreland. Coach, what's up, baby?
What's going on,
Hey
baby?
man, first of all, man, how was your dead period, Coach?
Man, it was pretty good. The kids had some time, do some soul searching, some thinking if this is what they want to do. We had our spring game on May 20th. After that, Friday, hadn't really touched them. Gave them their time to finish up the finals, anything that needed to be done. Then we hit dead period, which was that May 30th to basically June the 4th or whatever.
Right.
Well, basically till up until today, they didn't have an opportunity to see us. But at the same time, it gave them an opportunity. There were a lot of mega camps that, were out. You had the one at Mercer, you had one at LaGrange, where they were able to go out and they didn't have an excuse to say, well, I was at practice, so I couldn't allow, the college coaches to see me.
Right.
So we made sure that they knew that those camps were out there. And it also told us, not just me, but a lot of these other coaches, is this is what you really wanted. You have to invest your money and your time in it to where they had to pay and go to those camps to get noticed.
Coach, let's talk about them camps for a second. Your thoughts on kids mentally preparing themselves to go to those camps to get noticed.
Well, first and foremost, it's funny that you just we talking about that. I was talking to one of my a few of my players about the camps, and they mentioned they went to Georgia Tech, and they mentioned they went to Georgia State camp. And I told them, this is a lesson learned. There's no knock on them, but the amount of people that seen you at those camps, you could have seen triple to quadruple the amount of coaches if you would have went to Mercer. I said,
Right.
this is where that communication piece comes in.
Mm.
You can ask me as a coach or ask your position coach, hey, is this a good camp that I need to see? I said, because the real, reality of it is some of those camps, a lot of those coaches may already know who they're looking at and
Yeah.
looking for. And it's a money grab. And if you're not one of those guys, you might spark a little interest, but a lot of times they already know who they're looking at and who they're looking for.
Most
But
definitely.
at those mega camps, you get multiple coaches who
Yeah.
may be up north,
Mhm.
out on the West Coast that
Right.
come that normally can't get to you. You can be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because one of the guys that we were talking to today, he kind of we kind of told him leading up to the process, like, dude, listen, you need to be in the best shape possible because whatever times or whatever you put up at that camp, that time gonna follow you everywhere. And you and I have been doing this long enough. That one time can throw off your whole recruiting process.
Yeah, because when those coaches come into the school, they already have a list.
Right.
And not just have a list. If me and you are at different schools and I have a kid that we played against that's on your school, hey, you need to go over there and talk to Coach Hurd.
Mhm.
He got a linebacker over there that's
Right.
and a lot of that stuff is word of mouth. So
Right.
if you're not putting your best foot forward for even other people to speak on you, it's hard. And like you said, when they have that booklet of, well, yeah, I got this guy, Earthwind Moreland. They say he run a 4 such and such, and when they're gonna come look at you, they're gonna touch you, feel you, see
Yeah.
if it is what they say it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when those times come up, especially for skill guys, and we talked about this a lot. A lot of our skill guys got to understand this: run track, run track, because Coach Davis up there at Buford, and there's other guys, but we know him personally.
Mhm.
That's what has changed their program.
Change the culture at Buford. Yeah.
Those guys run track.
Point blank period, coach. Point blank period.
If
Right.
you're a skill guy and you ain't, and you can't just wake up and give me a 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when I got guys like Jordan Davis running under 5 flat at 350,
Yeah.
360, and he running beside you.
No.
What the hell? I can get him to play your position.
Go. Before we talk Mundys Mill, one more point I want to talk to you about the recruiting side. Eye test. People always like, Coach, you in this eye test. I say, listen, eye test is what get a lot of guys in the door. And listen, it ain't fair. I know it ain't fair. I know it ain't fair, but I know it. But the measurables matter to a lot of these coaches, and that's why you have to go to like a mega camp, like you talk about, because you might not be for this school, you for that school. Talk about the eye test part of
so that eye test is very important, because one thing that coaches will tell you is there's certain things they just can't coach.
Right.
I can't coach, you being a 6'3" receiver and you can run as if you a 5'9" receiver. So a lot of those kids that are smaller in stature, they still have to understand they got to be put together.
Yeah.
You can't be small and weigh 140. If you weigh 140, it better look like you 140 and looks like you at work. So now I still have some. Hey, coach, he might not be the 6-foot receiver that we got, but coach, he 5'9", half 5'10", and coach, this boy is rocked up.
Yeah, and he can fly.
Exactly.
And
so
he
you
can
gotta
fly.
give those guys something that they can hang their hat on, because when you got, and a lot of these kids, as well as parents, don't understand this. Me, you, let's just take some guys we know, Booby, Cole Pritchard, Stanley, all of us, we recruiting all these different areas. All of us had to bring all the people that we brought to the table. Now it's a war. Well, I got this guy. Well, I got this guy.
Yeah.
So what's going to make you stand out so I can say, hey, we need to go with this guy?
Right.
Because if I got 2 5'9" guy, but this guy run track and he a 4'4" guy, but you 5'9" and you 4'7" and you frail, same GPAs or similar GPAs, I'm going with the guy that can pass the eye test.
Right. So let's go talk Mundys Mill 2022. Earthwind Moreland is down there in Clayco, everybody.
Yes,
down there in Clayco. First thing that you had to kind of put your imprint on taking the job at Mundys Mill?
Well, first thing is I had to kind of bring that, it's no disrespect to anybody in Clayton County, because they put out some great talent, in just in Clayton County in general. But for me, as it refers to Mundys Mill, just that we're trying to instill that don't give up, just blah attitude.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to fight from whistle to whistle.
Right.
We're going to be tough. They're going to know that when they play Mundys Mill Tigers, they've been in a football game. And not that things that before, like I said, it's no disrespect to the people before me, but it was just understood. Like, you got teams like Lovejoy. We come out the gate with Lovejoy.
Mm.
And that's always been a big game. It's a classic, but not just the Big Cat Classic. Now it goes back to being a region game. So week 1, we in region play.
Right. That's extra emphasis. Like, you gotta get a leg up on your region.
So if we go in and they buy into what we're selling, and one thing that we've been selling all year from day one is we're gonna get 1% better every day. Just 1%.
Right.
I don't care if it's something in terms of the way you got in your stance.
Right.
If I don't do nothing but correct my stance from today to tomorrow,
you got better.
1% better.
You got better.
And we just building on that.
Yeah.
And we've been teaching them, we don't want to be at the top right now.
Yeah.
We just want to slow
climb that mountain.
And peak and at the right time.
At the right time. And
we got guys, that I think that are some valuable pieces. And once they buy in, we got a good complement of returning guys and also some younger guys that I think that can really help us to really do some great things down here in Clayton County.
One thing I always like to shine light on coaching staff, very important piece to this puzzle, because it's your coaches they had to do so much of the lead work because you got to do you become the politician. You got to go kiss babies and go to events. So it's the coaching staff that really has to kind of really fine tune that thing. Talk about your coaching staff, Coach.
Man, right now I feel like we have a pretty good coaching staff that we've put together. We got some fire guys on both sides of the ball. Some guys with a wealth of knowledge, not only just a wealth of knowledge football-wise, but the one thing that I had to do, I had to take my mind away from, because I had been in in Atlanta Public Schools so long. I had to find me some guys also that knew the area in Clayton County. So got me some good guys that are actually from Clayton County. Derek Smith, he had been the offense coordinator at Lovejoy for quite a while. You know, he's over. But not only just that, I also got some guys that actually went to Mundys Mill High School, 2 guys that went to Mundys Mill High School. So they have a different investment because they want to see their program, you know.
Different kind of love for them. Kind of love for them.
And not just that, we got a good, you know, array of coaches, younger coaches, as well as older seasoned coaches. So it's a mixture to whereas, you know, at this point now I'm starting to become one of the older coaches, and you always have to have a few coaches that can bridge that gap with the younger generation.
Right.
To understand where they don't always want to hear us old heads all the time.
Definitely. Because it's funny. I was I was at the spring game and your offensive coordinator, I was like, hey man, get that dude off the field. But I understood his passion because, you know, it was one of the guys who said that to me, like, Coach, why you getting a hard time? I say, nah, listen. In all honesty, I understand what he's doing because you only got a certain number of days in the spring, and what you want to do is like, I know we went over this stuff, but you just want to make sure, because as we get to the summertime, you just want to make sure the guys get the basics down. So I love this passion, Coach. I love y'all.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that we preached a lot on in the spring. We tried to stay as vanilla as possible because the one thing we wanted to see is, can you just line up?
Yeah.
Can you just run? Can you tackle? Can you block? Once we get that part to see who's willing to do those things, now we can start implementing the other stuff.
Right.
But we want to see, hey, what's your tolerance level? How are you willing to be coached?
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys that we got to hold your hand?
Yeah.
Because right now one thing that we've told them, it's been too much hand holding.
Yeah. I got to cut that cord, baby.
You got to cut the cord. And you know, I want to give a shout out to Stanley Pritchard and the Douglas Astro. They came and they did well. And one thing that I had to try to tell my kids, especially being in Atlanta Public Schools for a long time, they may not sometimes have all the talent, but because of, you know, somewhat of their upbringing and the way they have to go about day-to-day life, they come with a different energy. Yes, they're going to come with a different energy. So they may not have all the tools that you have, but their hunger and passion is going to be a little different. So you got to match their energy.
Right.
And I'm glad that they were able to get to see it. You know, we did have a few guys that didn't, you know, play, but for the guys that we were trying to see, because what we're also trying to do is build depth.
Right.
Trying to build depth. So this is your time. We push you in the spotlight. And what I told them to do is look at it as if the guy that was in front of you, he's hurt. Now you got to step in.
You got to play.
How are you going to respond to it? Some did, some went to bed. But we got the spring. We got the rest of the summer to kind of get them going. And like we were just talking before, you know, we got started. We hit them hard right out the gate.
Yeah.
It was 12 110s right out the gate. And it told us who did what over that break.
Right.
Because it was a break for them being with us. But it wasn't a break from
a break from work. It wasn't a break from work. Yeah. Let's talk about your defense. The one thing I did notice about your team, both sides of the ball, especially on start defensive line, you got some size at Mundys Mill, my boy. You got some size. Talk about your D-line kids.
So one thing that I did when I got here, even though I wasn't the head coach when I first got here, I was walking these halls.
Yeah.
And I was telling these kids, hey, you need to be out here. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
You're not just gonna be walking these halls. You know, ain't nothing in these streets.
Yeah.
You're gonna come right here And a lot of you all will have the opportunity to further your education. And I tell a lot of them, I understand that I was in a rare breed, being that you got that 1-2% that go on and make it to the league.
Well,
but I also ask them this: what else you want to do? And when they tell me that, I say, well, guess what? Just by go back, like you said, this eye test, and if you really, put a little effort into it, you can go to school and let somebody pay for you to learn what you want to do. Whether it's broadcasting, well, coach, I like music. Okay, well, you can go and let somebody teach you all about the engineering, how to run a board, how to do all that kind of stuff, run a studio, whatever the case may be. And you can do it for free. So when you come out, you're debt free, and now you working on everything you want to do.
Yeah, man. Cause I saw the side, like, okay, he got some nice size down there. Look like some very athletic kids who can move. And I also like the way your linebackers move, coach. Talk about your linebacking core.
Well, see, the linebackers are coached by, he's now the defense coordinator. Me and him coached with each other last year. Coach Williams, he has a good pedigree. He's down from Tifton, Georgia. He went to Tiff County.
South Georgia boy.
But he also was one of the guys when he was at Clark. I think he's the all-time leading tackler down there. He was an All-American when he was there. And he was also on the show. He was actually a linebacker coach down there at Valdosta when that whole little situation.
Well, when Prost was there.
Yeah, when Prost was there. So he knows about the work ethic and what it takes. So he's a fiery guy. And so, it's funny because, when we go in prior and sometimes he don't have the guys he need, he's like, man, coach, coach, I just don't like when they doing certain things to him. I said, coach, I understand. I said, but you got to think about it this way. I said, you got to think about us build, like I said, go back to building depth. Mm-hmm. So because I said, injuries going to happen.
Yeah.
And we might have to depend on some of these guys. So they got to learn this stuff.
Right.
And it's better for them to learn it now than to learn it when it's Friday night lights and them bullets flying. That way we can game plan and put them in better situations to know, hey, if we got this guy, that guy, because I'm, with me being a secondary guy, how I always did it. The guy that I had to teach the least, I put him on the opposing team sideline.
Yeah, so you over there. We ain't got to help you out.
I gotta tell him, hey, back up to 7. Hey, no, back up to 10. Hey, go up to 2. I got to be able to coach him. Hey, they're gonna do this. Hey, you just stay back here. All right, so you can kind of cover him up. Hey, safety to this side. I need you to help him a little more on that side. We're gonna lock on that side, but I need you to stay over here. So, just being able to know who I can trust and who I can't trust.
Well, and with the secondary being your baby, talk about your secondary pieces.
Well, we have a lot of guys that will be coming back from last year, and they kind of knew, like I said, last year by the end of the season, I went from being the D-line coach to defense coordinator, so they know how I roll, and I'm not going to settle for anything.
Yeah, they're gonna get yelled at. They're gonna get yelled at.
I mean, because and I think they bought into what I was selling last year. It was just unfortunate, even when we played Woodward last year, we started out the gate with like 3 or 4 turnovers. We picked the quarterback off 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, we didn't. It was just a little tough. Somebody said, "Do you?"
Yeah, Deonce want to know. Said, "Do you look at past footage of Mundys Mill games as part of your teaching and coaching?"
I have, and the reason why is because we try to take the good and the bad away from them to show them. Because, like I said, Mundys Mill has had some talent, here.
Plenty.
Matter of fact, a guy named Rodney Smith and a guy named Jonathan Celestine, they both went on. They did really well. They went on to play at Minnesota, and then they also had some brief stints in the NFL.
Right.
Rodney is still trying to, finish that passion, and Celestine is actually coaching in college. But we also have some other guys that have gone on to play. We still got some guys right now. We got a kid that's playing last name Barnes. I think Nick Barnes. He's playing at Mercer. So it's some guys that are around. So we try to show them, hey, it's been here. We just got to get those winning ways back.
Now let's turn around. We got to talk offense. Always gonna start a quarterback, coach. It's always gonna start a quarterback. I don't care what go on. Everybody gonna look at that quarterback. We know he get too much credit when he win, he get too much blame when he lose. Talk about your quarterback situation coming in 2022.
Well, with the new offensive coordinator that we have, he on him. Coach Schmidt is on him. We got two young guys. Got a lefty and a righty.
Yeah.
They're both, they competing. They'll be both juniors. And right now, no one is above the other one. They're both about 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, good size kids. Good size
each
kids.
one of them do something a little bit different. One of them is a little more control. One of them can use his legs a little more. So we're just gonna have to see, with these different 7-on-7s and padded camps that come on, who's gonna be able to just take control of the offense and say, "Hey, it's mine."
It's mine.
But we
my team.
But you're right. But we also know that with this competition, it helps that again when we're talking about building depth, that if one go down, we still know we won't have a drop off.
Right. We'll miss a beat.
Put in and say, "Hey, boom, we still rolling."
Let's talk running back. Let's talk the running back position. Those running backs. Emmanuel Glaze. Shout out to E. Glaze. E. Glaze says, "Glad to see my brother back in the head coaching spot." It definitely is. Glaze. Glaze. We got to teach him not to harass referees, especially in the spring game.
Oh, I have to harass them in the spring game because see. And I told my coach I didn't get mad at any of them, and here's the reason why. I know, and if I gotta butter the officials up, I will. But we don't get to say much because now they got so many strict rules during the season that it's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna have to take the heat on. So I'll make sure. So right now, I'm gonna let them get it all out the way. So when the season starts, hey, and normally, the way we operate is my OC. He don't like to be on the field anyway. He like to be in the booth.
He gonna be in the booth, yeah.
So we don't have to worry about
it's just better for OC. It's just better to be up there. You can just see the whole field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on the running back position, we got some guys. Unfortunately, we had a back that left. We had a dynamic back, but we got some guys that that can get the job done. We had a dynamic back. He left and went to IMG. 5-star. If you've heard of him, guy named Jared Gibson.
Yeah,
he was here with us. He was here with us last year. He may have only played maybe 6 or 7 games, and in those 6 or 7 games, he probably had about 900 yards.
Yeah,
cool. he was a special kid.
Yeah, he was chopping them up.
Yeah.
He was chopping them up.
But we got some guys that were behind him. We got some bruisers. We got some downhill guys. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be downhill. We're gonna do a little bit of everything to kind of keep them all balanced. But right now, that's another thing we've been preaching. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. If we can get 3 yards in a cloud of dust, we working. Because once we do that, most of the time, I'm one of them, I'm a gambler. I'm like Riverboat Run. 4th and 1 or less. Yeah. If I got a big back, we falling forward.
Yeah, we falling forward. We falling forward.
We falling forward.
And when we talk about falling forward, of course, we got to talk about those big guys up front. I call them the big athletes. Yeah, Glaze love that. Glaze hate we go to games. It be 4th and 1, team being 5 wide. Dry Glaze play.
You know what? And that's another thing we said we were going to, work on. We talked about because I think a lot of people have gotten away from that where, like you said, it's 4th and 1 and you in a shotgun and pistol.
Yeah. You stick yours back.
Right.
Already at disadvantage.
Hey, we gonna line them up. Let's go. And that's our big focus. And I tell them this all the time. I call them big skill. And
that's
the thing of it is I tell them I don't care who we have because we've talked about receivers, DB, linebackers, running back. It started up front.
It don't go without them boys. It don't go without them.
O-line and D-line. Once we get those guys to truly buy them, because we got some size, but now we got to just get that feed them a little gunpowder.
Yeah,
get that dog in them to where every now and then I don't mind taking a penalty if I see you driving a guy into the ground.
Hell yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, what? The official might say, "Hey, coach, hey, come here, I'm gonna do it again."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, boy. If you let up, if you want to.
Yeah,
and
that's football. I never understood, and I've always said this: if I ever come back to coaching, I'm running double tight. I'm running double tight in high school. I'm running double tight, and I'm coming right. I'm talking about dog. Hey, we running 26 power. I don't care if stop it. Stop it. And I'm telling my offensive lineman,
and-
hey, knock his ass back over there somewhere.
And that's what we've been telling them. Hey, when it's third and short or whatever, y'all ought to be, fighting over which side. Go running to the right. No, go running to the left. You know what I'm saying? It got to be that type of competition. A good, healthy competition.
Those are facts. I saw during your spring game that you do have some playmakers at the wide receiver position. You got some shifty guys, you got some long guys, you got some guys look like one guy he plays slot, he can also jump outside. Talk about your playmakers at wide receiver.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we've talked about, in terms of some guys. We like I said before, we had some guys that didn't play, but we feel like we got some guys on the outside if we're able to sustain some blocks, hold up just a little bit where we can kind of get the ball out, the pitch and catch, because that's another thing we told them. Yeah, sometimes we're going to throw the ball down the field, but we want to call it, me coming from New England, long handoffs.
Yeah.
Get the ball in their hands. And, that's another thing that we were telling our quarterbacks. Hey, you don't have to throw the ball 50, 60 yards. Throw the ball 3, 4, 5 yards. And if you run 50, 60 in the paper or in, social media, it's not going to say the ball sailed 50 yards.
Right.
It's just going to say 60, 70-yard touchdown.
You threw the ball 2 yards. You threw the ball 2 yards. Threw the ball 2 yards. Oh, 2 yards. It's crazy. Coach, talk to me about the difference. You've been in APS, we talked about it for a while. So now you outside the perimeter. As Glade like to talk about OTP, inside the perimeter, outside the perimeter. Now you kind of in a situation down there where it's kind of feeder programs that you kind of know these kids are coming to Mundys Mill without having to get up every Saturday morning to go to this, all these different schools and like, hey, maybe all of them gonna come to this school. Talk about feeder programs down in Clayton County.
Well, they do have some pretty good feeder programs, and I ain't gonna, because of certain things that have happened down here, football and basketball wise. There are certain programs where they chomping at the bits. I know we're talking football, but like when you think about basketball,
Lovejoy girls,
Jonesboro boys, things like that. They trying to jump over there right now. When you talk about football, Lovejoy has done well. Hackney over at Riverdale has done well, so they're gravitating to them. So we got to put our stamp on them. Now, the one thing that I did like in APS that's kind of tougher here in Clayton County is where, the middle schools play on the weekend in APS.
Right.
They play like on a Tuesday.
They play they play during the week out.
And when they playing down during the week, that's a real work day for you in high school. So it's kind of tough for you to get down there and see your feeder programs. So we're trying to put our heads together to figure out what coach can we get to know. Sometimes it may be me, sometimes it may be other coaches that can get down there and actually go talk to the feeder programs and everybody see so they can see.
Right.
They can see us and say, hey, they're interested in us, they're looking at us, they're trying to see what we're trying to accomplish, and try to build those relationships, not with just the kids and the parents, but the coaches at these, feeder programs, so they can understand, hey, if you want to come during the summer and see what we're doing, how we're operating, and if there's anything that you can take with your program, and like you said, build a true feeder program. So when they come up here, just like they do at Buford and all these other places, a lot of them kids already know the offense by the time they get there. Because it's the same terminology.
Yeah.
It might just be watered down a little bit, but it's the same terminology, the same understanding of everything that's going on.
And you also doing that, you're able to go see a kid. You can already project
where he gonna fit in.
Where he gonna fit in when he get to you. You like, okay, yeah, because he's such an athlete. He doing this over here, but I know once we get him, we're gonna stick him right here, and we're gonna let him take off.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the parents, because the one thing that I think, and you just tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I think I saw it at the spring game. You're gonna have some good parent participation.
Yeah.
Down there.
We had a parent meeting, and we had to address a few things. And one of the things is it's not always just about the money. It's a lot about time. And so we as coaches can do the job that you want us to do with your kid. Something as simple as coming to feed the guys for pregame. That's less that the coaches have to do.
Right.
Because it's a million different things that's going on the day of a game. If you all can come and give me 20 minutes of your time to just serve the food, you ain't got to stay. Just serve them.
Serve them. You head to the stadium.
Play County is a little different because each team, you get your concession stand. If you don't have but 2 or 3 people, even in your family, if you don't do nothing but go and serve in the concession stand for one game, I ain't asking you to do the whole season.
Right.
You do one game, or if you got a cousin, somebody, hey, my child playing last year, I just need you to go into the concession stand for this one game. Do that. And those kind of things change how programs work. Because like I tell them all the time, you all, you want to be elite and you want to say you want to do certain things. Well, these are certain things that are non-negotiables when you go to these other programs. We increased our dues because, I want to make sure that they have certain things available, when we were just talking about, dead week over, you in the off season. We need to be able to have protein. Mm-hmm. We need to be able to have those things that those other programs had a leg up on. Right. So now, like Deion Sanders always say, trying to level that playing field.
Yeah.
We got to level that playing field so they can understand that, this game might not be for your child, this particular game, but he is a key contributor at all points. And it's not just him, it's you too. Mm-hmm. You are a key contributor to what's going on and the makeup of this program.
I used to always wonder, like parents on stage, because a lot of times you would always hear, people, well, we not like them and we not like them, and you like, well, you know why? A lot of it has to do with the parents. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to be full invested. Like, we can't just cuss out the coaches every Friday and we not doing anything to help make our program better. Because everybody, you just talked about, everybody play a role. Like, somebody got a dad who work at Colt. Hey, somebody who can get us Powerade. You work da. So hey, it's somebody who can get this, but it's like, and I think that's what they don't understand about. We always talk about like the big time programs. A lot of what make them big time programs is the stuff that go on behind the scenes. It's not what's on the field. It's behind the scenes that give them the ability to do a lot of the extra stuff that they do.
Well, one of the issues is this, and it might hurt a few people feelings who watching, and I'm sorry. But when they go to and you've seen it, when they go to those type of programs, it's funny how they conform.
Oh, boy, quick.
you might be in the inner city and all the other programs talking about what you don't do, but when they tell you it's $850 or $1,000 dues non-negotiable, you somehow find that money.
But you paid up.
What was that same money and energy? You up there in the stands, you quiet as a church mouse, you got so much to say. But that's because guess what? This is the way they think. Because that's why, remember I told you all the time, that's why I go to those all-star games and this and that. And they don't need you. You need them.
Yeah.
Because the same things that we go through, I talk to Appleton. Appleton say, hey, they 3-time champions and he still get emails. So what make you think you better if they just won the state championship and get emails and we ain't won nothing?
Hey. If App hadn't won it that first, them folk on App head. A lot of people don't know that folk. And Deontay just say, yeah, we grumble, but we had to cough it up when you. And I love that point you made because again, we have to take care of our programs the way that, like, instead of always talking about, oh, well, they do it like that. Well, we can do it like that too.
Exactly.
We just have to be the ones to say, you know what, we're going to invest in our pro. And I like how you brought up Deion. That's one of the things that I like that Deion has done more than anything is he knows that he's a resource. He like, look, I'm going to call in every favor I can out here.
And he's doing it not just for his program. You see, he went down to Mississippi Valley. Hey, let's do this for all of our guys.
Let's do it for all. And that's the power I think our parents don't understand that they have, because like they in the community too. Like y'all, you know somebody that I don't know. I don't know what I know what you do, but I don't know what you do. But I know that you know somebody, and like say, if you ain't the plug, you know somebody who the plug who can get us this stuff. And now we can have like so. Hey, if we got to go down south, we ain't got to travel on game day and legs be tired. We can get down there on Thursday and put the kids up and that's part of the program.
All that because, like I said, you know, coming from Atlanta Public Schools, things are a little different in Clayton County, and I respect it and I understand it. But I'm trying to find ways to navigate, you know, so to make sure my kids have the best thing. I'm gonna give you a funny story that happened last year. So we had to find a game, and we had to end up playing South Atlanta. That same day, Lovejoy is playing North Gwinnett. We're riding down. That's why I was talking about, you know, making sure my kids have the same thing. We riding down Tara Boulevard, you know, pretty much stopping at every light. We get halfway down Tara Boulevard. I hear woo, 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 woo. Lovejoy goes right past us. Escorting us.
What escort?
I immediately, and I ain't even the head coach, I immediately call and say, hey, what we got to do to get this same situation? Yeah. Because I refuse to let my kids look at that, because you know what kind of kids we have.
Oh, yeah, but I'm going to love you. That's a leg up. I'm going to love you. Yeah.
You best believe, and you know how that made us feel when we were playing. When that escort hit them like, woo, woo, you know it's time to rock and roll.
Well,
so I said, hey, we gonna have that. I'm already putting that in place. We gonna have the same thing. We gonna ride right on past these and they gonna see that, hey, we putting the same thing in place. So now guess what? When you give me your all, I'm gonna give you my all. And I'm, like you said, I'm gonna put all my resources together and say, hey, this is what's gonna happen for you.
Last one for you, Coach. Of course, recruiting is always big for our kids. You know, it's all also they see it. Everybody clamoring to get off. Everybody, you know, they look at their partner. Oh, he just committed. And what are some of the things that you try to get your kids to understand about this recruiting process?
Well, first and foremost, and it's fun. I was just talking to a parent, and you know, well, even before I was talking to the parent, I was talking to my coaches. And I said, basically, we have to teach them everything from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that part comes with recruitment, because you got a lot of kids, and especially parents don't even know, like, official visits are not even supposed to be taken if you don't even have, you know, if you ain't even done your NCAA clearinghouse.
Right.
You know, a lot of them don't even understand that. They done went through the whole school year, and then the guy say, well, we want you to come on an official visit. What's your, you know, your clearinghouse number?
What's your clearinghouse number?
Yeah. Like, yeah, what's your clearinghouse number? So things like that, understanding that. So talking to parents, and you know, a parent just came out, you know, some of them be so prideful, instead of just saying, Coach, I don't know. Help me out.
Right.
You know, they go listen to all the other stuff. Oh, no, he ain't in it. And it's a great point you made earlier. First of all, and this is what I try to tell my kid, you know, just so we don't tear their dreams down. Hey, give me some Power 5s that you're interested in. Give me some mid-majors, you know, that you're interested in. Give me some HBCUs you're interested in, D2, D3, you know, because the reality is, and I tell them all the time, you never shun anybody, because I've seen it happen. You know, you got some guys that are at UTC today, coach get a job, they at, you know, Clemson tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I seen it with, you know, coach down at Kennesaw State. You know, you got to think, Slade was just coaching high school last year.
Yeah.
He at Virginia.
Yeah.
Now, just back on. If you was on the opposite side of him and you was acting a donkey.
He remembered.
Now you want that offer. Dude, I'm not finna put you on my route. I know how you acted.
I'm not recruiting. He gonna go in there. He gonna tell the coach that they're like, we like the kid. Showboat. He this, he that.
Exactly. Yeah. So those things I try to tell them. You never shun anybody. And what they also have to understand is this: with this new transfer portal,
those
scholarships have been cut in half. Matter of fact, it's down to 3/4.
Yeah.
So if I'm a high school guy, and you're a college person, you just transferred, but you already understand the college game. You already understand how the college atmosphere goes. Because don't think that all them kids just transfer them because they don't have the grades or whatever. Obviously, they still eligible.
Oh, no doubt.
They already know what's going on. So if I got a kid that's already ready to jump in right now, because of the way things have changed, coaches don't have that time to say, "Hey, let him develop."
Yeah, 3-4 year wonder. They got a 4-year one. And it's funny you say that. I was talking to one of my college partners today, and like he like heard this is basically what recruiting has come to now.
Mm-hmm.
If I got a kid, he's at a FCS school. If I got a kid and he balled, dog, he gonna think about taking the jump.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna say, "Hey, I've done everything I can do at this school. I want to go see if I can play at a Power 5."
Right. And
then you got the Power 5 kids who, like, you know what? I've been here 2 years. I ain't gonna never touch the field. I'm going down. And that kid is gonna jump a high school kid, and that's why high school kids more than anything today gotta almost work even harder.
Mm-hmm.
Because a coach, just like we just talked, coach don't have that kind of time. No, I gotta get a kid who can impact the game today. Can you impact the game today? Not I gotta develop you in 2 years. I'm gonna have you at 185 now. No. I need you today.
Coach, it's funny because I got 2 kids that I can tell you that I personally coached. I got one kid, he got hurt, guy named Sincere Mason. He hurt his knee in high school. So, some of those guys that who probably would have offered him Power 5, they did. He still made all region, did all those kind of things. Went to Kennesaw State, graduated, did everything he's supposed to do. Somehow certain things didn't work out. He played. Now he's at Kansas State playing. Yeah. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Yeah. But then my tight end, on the flip side of that, some things happened while he was at school. He was at Louisville. Hell, scored against Alabama, playing
starting.
Some things, starting. Some things happened. Now he at Bethune. So that guy who normally would be playing at Bethune, see, if I got a guy who just played, Power 5 and he dropping down, that drops you down. So now you at Division 2. Yeah. And now if I got a guy that who could have been mid-major or whatever who's at Division 2, he dropping that kid down to Division 3.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Yeah. And you still got all these guys that have played that are in the transfer portal that still ain't got picked up.
Still ain't got picked up. Like I said, it is. I want our kids, and like I say, we got to always speak to it. I just want our parents and kids to understand, like, don't get mad at these coaches. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at the coaches when you thinking that these coaches not working for your kid. One thing I know about you, you got your prospect list, and you giving it. Anybody walk through your door, you don't care who it is, they gonna get their prospect sheet, and you gonna sell every kid, but it's not you that's giving the money. You not the decision maker. You not.
A lot of these kids and parents don't understand that they really are the decision makers. And this is what I tell them all the time. I live by this. Control what you can control. And when I say that, you can control taking your butt to class. You can control what's on your transcript. You can control how well you do on that test.
Yeah, that's on you.
So
yeah,
now when you put those things in place, it's you kind of make it harder for them to make that decision. Because one thing that I tell kids all the time, it's a difference in when, you got all these offers and you get to choose as opposed to when they have to choose.
Yeah.
So if I got all these offers and, it's different. And I get it. Sometimes you have to kind of, conform a little bit to it. But, a lot of that, oh, I'm waiting for this offer. I got this offer. You can't go but to one school.
Yeah.
Hey, stop worrying about it. And then that's another thing, for all the parents or anybody that's listening, even kids that may be listening. Go somewhere where you can see yourself. If something were to ever happen and you can no longer play football, can you still see yourself there?
Yep.
because a lot of them, they get so tied to the hype of, oh, it's Clemson, oh, it's Alabama, oh, it's Georgia. But then they realize, in actuality, you probably should have went to UAB from the beginning.
But
you
off real,
went to Mercer from the beginning. But
where you gonna play?
Because not just where you gonna play. When you go to those schools like that, can you keep up with that daily grind? Because if you ain't never heard anybody else, go listen to Alvin Kamara when he went in there, and every running back in there was a 5-star in Alabama when he first got there. Who gonna rise to the top?
Yeah, man. Iron sharpens iron, and a lot of times it's gonna be a number game, dog. You gonna get forced out by the number game, and again, like you just talked about, you can control part of that because, like I say, you just have to be smart about the city. Like you said, you do control that. You like, hey man, if I'm looking at the depth chart, like, man, you know what? I'm gonna be an incoming freshman. They signed 5 freshman wide receivers last year, and it's 2 that's sophomore. No, I'm not gonna play. I know I ain't finna play.
And especially if they, already talking about these guys playing and they're promising and they doing this, they're doing that. It's different. It's hard. So you got a lot of guys that, they think they the man until they get there. That's why, a lot of times I commend, they might have had a down year this year, but I commend the teams like the Clemsons, the Bamas, even though I ain't no fan, the Georgias or whatever, because guess what? If you think you that guy, go there. It'll show you if you that guy.
Yeah.
Because you get some of them go there and they be like, no, this ain't for me. You got that guy that you got to think. Like right now, they're always looking for the next best thing. What's the guy name who went to Prince Avenue, quarterback at Georgia?
Vandergrift.
Did great, but guess what? The next year, they go get Stockton.
Yeah, they bring a gun in. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
and now Arch Manning might be leaning towards which gonna push probably 2 people out the door.
You see what I'm saying? So those are things that you have to be willing to look at. So you got to look at the pros and cons. You got to look and say, am I a Joe Burrows? Am I Matt Jones that can sit there behind somebody and learn from them? Yeah. And when it's my time, I step in and do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have that patience.
Everybody don't have, especially in today's society.
And a lot of times, and this is my last thing, you have to know who you are.
Ooh, that's a tweet right there.
You are.
That's a tweet right there. That's a tweet. Yeah, you got to know that. You got to know that. It's funny. Shout out to little AJ Terrell, little brother. He committed today, and I was reading a couple of comments, and I saw a couple of dudes. Hey, and I was sitting there like, first of all, like that shouldn't even shock child. That's what he decided to go to school. Yes. I mean, who had a better shot to get him than Clemson?
Exactly. But what a lot of people don't understand and know is, and maybe see that's the thing, when you got a lot of people that watch football but don't watch football.
Yeah.
That kid, we seen him from.
But yeah, we done since he was at Suntown. Yeah.
Like this kid been working like this, and one of the biggest things was what pretty much everybody was just wondering is, was he ever gonna grow? Because the work ethic and all that's always been there.
Yeah.
That has never wavered or anything. Any coach that has ever come in there, that kid has worked. And now he's just coming into his body, he's getting a little bigger or whatnot. He may not ever be his brother's size, but that kid works.
Dog, not only work, and then like I said, you just cut the film on. Yeah. He can play. Deonce say, have we ever had a student with the passion but just couldn't master the techniques of football? Deonce, that happened every day.
Yeah, that definitely happens every day.
That's every day. You see a kid, he got all the measurables, but it's something that just don't click.
And for some of them, it's a light switch. And what happens a lot of time with those type of kids is sometimes down the line, well, before they get to this level,
Yeah.
the coaching may not have been, right. Because one thing I do learn, and I have learned from whether it been you, other coaches, younger coaches, older coaches, everybody can't be coached the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
You got some kids that they only respond when you yelling and screaming.
That's it.
You got others that will shut down.
Boy, Coach, my rule of thumb used to always be if a kid had a daddy or uncle that's present in his life, I know I can yell at him.
Yes.
If I got a kid who I just know he's straight up mama boy, if I yell at him, once I yell at him, I gotta go right. I gotta
go right back and
I gotta go right back. And I might not even yell at him in front of everybody. I'm gonna get him, but I gotta get him in a different way than I gotta get this boy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and we all look, when we all young coaches, we all think, hey, they just gonna respond to right. And then you be like, oh nah, that don't work for you.
Man, you can ask some of my kids now. Sometimes they might say something to me. I just walk off, and they be sitting there looking because I already know I can't respond like I used to. So let me just walk off. And then sometimes it even take me, a whole day before I actually respond, because if I say what I want to say that
right,
it ain't gonna go well.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna go well. And I learned that from you all, even with the whole, like after game, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Give the coaches that 24-hour period.
Yeah, hey, 24-hour rule.
To process it, to analyze it, to even think about what's gonna be said.
Right. Do not ask me nothing right after the game.
Because if you really wanna hear the honest God truth, go ahead and ask me. Because 9 times out of 10, you're probably going down there to the board. He told me he went up one side, down the other, back down the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. JJ, your boys would not think we soft. Trust me, JJ. See, I cuss your kids out, JJ. Because one, you played, so you know. You already know.
But we just said you in their life. So once we know you present, we gonna give it to them.
Yeah, we're gonna get it. They gonna get that word, JJ. But
JJ, tell them to come on to one of my practices now, and we'll see. Since you think that. Matter of fact, I just told a kid today. Hey coach, can I call my mama? I ain't bringing no shoes. I can't say what I said, but I told her, hey, this ain't middle school no more.
Yeah, that's on you.
This your one pass. This your one pass to understand. The next time you'll probably be out there snaking, rolling, 3-legged dogging, and you'll understand. I never do that again.
How you leave your shoe? That's just like saying you left your helmet.
Go. And that's what I tell a lot of them. Y'all gotta understand this. Especially on days like this, especially with this new, we just getting into summer workout.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I ain't did my job if somebody don't throw up.
Yeah.
Because I want to see who been working. I had a kid today tell me, and you think I'm lying, I sent the kid home today and told him, when you decide you want to be here, you come back. He worked out. Hey, where your cleats? Oh, they're in the other car. They're in the other car. Okay. So when the last time you had your cleats? Spring game. So last time you had your cleats was May 20th. So I already know you ain't did nothing. Secondly,
you ain't been on no grass.
Secondly, he didn't finish the running. So then, after we finish our work in weight room running, we go out there and, we go over individual drills, do a little 7-on-7. He thought he was going to go out there. I said, you honestly think I'm finna let you go out there and you didn't finish? Hey, call your parent, tell them to come and get you. And when you decide that you're going to, do what you're supposed to do, then you come back. And then look, if you can see, you see them two little things over here? They them flip sleds. You got to go meet them first. And we can add weight to them. So you got to do the flip sled first. And minimum, they have to do 400 yards. So they got to flip it from one end to the other, back, and down again. That's just to even get back out there. If you can't do that, you don't want to be a part of this.
One thing I know about Earthwind Moreland, you gonna get that work out them kids.
Got to, man.
You
Because
gonna get that work out them kids.
I don't want anybody to ever come through a program that I'm involved with and they mess it up for the other people behind them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because you got a lot of coaches. Well, coach, you lied to me on this one. I can't really trust your word. And if I put my name on you, you gotta be doing some great things. Shout out to a lot of those guys, for a lot of you all, Champ, he went to Furman,
My guy.
Yeah, I'm so proud of him. Even Kamar Avery, he graduated. Kalen's still doing big things, even though he's at he done graduated two degrees.
He got 2 degrees.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So those guys are controlling what they can control,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so proud of those guys. The other guys, that may have fallen by the wayside. Hey, all I just tell you is pull your bootstraps up. It ain't too late. They giving opportunities and chances out here. You just got to go take them and seize the moment.
Coach, my college track coach, shout out to Kevin Foster. He just chimed in. Coach, you had that breakdown of numbers, Coach. I got that right here. We're gonna leave Mundys Mill people with this football stat right here.
Mm-hmm.
There are 1 million participants playing high school football.
Look how that number dropped.
They go from 1 million NCAA participants. So this is Division 1, this is Division 2, it's Division 3. 73,712, 7.3% from high school to college. What y'all waiting on?
And Foster, I can attest to that because out of my graduating class in high school, all the seniors that played football, I was the only one when played college football.
Coach Foster, I got that chart. When you put that poster up, Coach Foster, I kept that chart, and that's gonna be part of my conversation when these parents start calling me with the crying, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give y'all these numbers.
And forget all the numbers. Like Coach Foster just said, read the last sentence. The numbers don't lie.
Nope. Hey.
Because they need the best of the best, like we've been saying. They want, because not just on the field, now their money is attached to who graduates.
Yep. Graduation rates determine the number of scholarships that you have the next year. Bad GPAs will cause a school to lose 2 or 3 scholarships. And in today's climate with these coaches, the money they make and the mandates to win, dog, I don't have time to be wasting on a kid who on the fence grade wise because he ain't gonna graduate, which is gonna hurt my number.
And not just grade wise, guys. Clean up your Twitters, all your social media accounts, because that has hindered a lot of people. On top of that, you got a lot of that character, because you have seen a lot of times. Ask the former coach for Baylor, because he stuck his neck out for one of them players, and they cut his neck off and the player neck off.
Yep, yes, sir. Yes,
because they got to report certain things that happen. You can't be going out there acting a fool.
Nah. Hey, man, everybody. It's just one to grow on, man. Y'all check out Mundys Mill, man. That's Earthwind Moreland right there, everybody. The Mundys Mill Tiger coat. I got to come get the sweatshirt with the big M on it.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I love that. Now, one
what
thing,
size you need?
I need Excel.
Yes, sir.
I'm out here running every day. The one thing I know about you, y'all gonna be geared up. Your coaches, y'all gonna look good with the C stuff.
Hey, boy, we got some. We got some new uniforms. We got some new blue and some new orange. Boy,
no, I told the dude in the stands at the spring game. I say one thing about it, y'all gonna love what's going on with that guy right there. Yeah. And one of the guys, he was like, listen, I'm already sold on him. Because just from watching the spring game, I've seen some stuff that I've been wishing we had done 3 to 4 years. I see it in the spring game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, it's on the up from there. Travis Booker, what's up, Travis Booker?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Book, what up, Book?
No, don't just watch. I will send you a schedule.
Yeah.
Tell her I'm gonna send her a schedule.
Yeah, we got you. Everybody at Earthwind Moreland, y'all, man. Mundys Mill, the old Tigers down there in Clayco, right across from McCarran Paul, right up the street from McCarran Paul, all that stuff right there. It's your feeding ground.
Hey, we got a little saying we say before we break down everything. 1, 2, 3. Go blue, go orange, go Tigers. Yes, sir.
We gone, y'all. We gone. All right, Earth.